Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Second Act Cat RN. And today I wanted to do something a little bit different. Instead of talking about nursing and second act, this can come into play regarding a second act, but it's kind of off topic a little bit, but I feel like it needs to be said. Today is the 27th of December. So it's been a couple days since Christmas, and I just want to address the issue that people have this time of year with depression and anxiety. And I fit into that category because of the brain injury that I sustained. And so I know I'm not the only one that has difficulty around the holidays. So I wanted to kind of touch on that and just talk about it, because it is something that's prevalent with so many people, and there are times you can't do anything about it. So with regard to my situation, and I'll be, as real as I can, but I had a really bad day the day before Christmas. And, I'm not proud that I have these episodes. I do take medication for it. But sometimes I have bad days, and the day before Christmas, because I don't generally like holidays, we all have some sort of trauma from the past. And sometimes on holidays, or I guess every year on certain holidays, I get moody to myself. I live alone, so it's not like I'm this B word walking around and mean to everybody, but I get withdrawn. I withdraw mentally. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody, but yet I do. And I don't know if anybody can understand that. I know that sounds so weird, like you want to talk to someone, so talk. Well, I want to, but I don't. And I don't know how to explain that any better. When I was growing up, I had an alcoholic father, and I was the chosen one, the one he selected to belittle and talk down to. So I've had to overcome these feelings of not being good enough, I guess. And when I look back and examine myself, I went to graduate school to become a nurse practitioner, and I was doing that to prove to myself that I knew something, that I could do it, that I was smart enough. Because I was always told growing up, you're not smart enough, or you'll never do that, or, you could never do that. I've been told that. Oh, you could never do that. Like, psh, you little peon, you could never do that. And I've had to overcome those negative thoughts from these people that would speak to me that way when I was growing up. I've even had that as an adult, and I was bullied as a new nurse. I was never bullied prior to that in any occupation that I had, but as a new nurse I was, and it continued. So I know a lot of these issues stem from childhood and trauma, and I think I've dealt with them pretty well, and I did seek counseling. With the brain injury I currently do, I speak to a person that helps me talk through things. And for the most part, I have really great days. But there are, based on circumstances like holidays, there are days that I don't like things. I don't like life. I don't want to adult. I don't want to do anything. And I will say that the day before Christmas, there were lots of tears. And, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps and I got through it, but it really weighed heavily on me. And it does every year, it seems like, on these particular holidays. So what I've done to get through these, I have made phone calls. I did call a friend. I phoned a friend. I did call a friend, and we talked about some things just in general. I didn't let on that I was having a bad day. I did text a very good friend of mine, and she had a daughter pass away a few years back. So this is a hard time for her as well. So we both kind of are in the same mindset this time of year. So I had sent her a message, not an SOS, but we both have an agreement on if we say something a certain way in a text message, or if we leave a message on the phone, then we know that it's something that we're struggling with. We're having a hard time. So she was having a hard time as well, but she did acknowledge my message. And of course, I acknowledged her issues that she's going through right now. So phone a friend, call someone, talk to someone, and talk it through if you have to. If you don't want to let on that you're very depressed, or you're having, some issues and don't like your thinking, you can just carry on a conversation and just chit chat. And for me, doing that helped to get my mind away from the negative thoughts I was having. So I know I'm not the only one, my friend as well. And so I know that there are those of you out there, and you'll have to pardon my eyes. They're burning badly today. So I want to close them so bad while I'm talking. So if I close my eyes, you'll know I'm not tired. It's just my eyes are burning. But I feel like there are more people than we know that are dealing with these issues, especially around the holidays. And I guess I just want to let you know that you're not alone. And, if you need to drop a comment below and talk about it, I feel free. I'm not a therapist, but I'm a nurse, and I talk about things with patients anyway. But I'm just letting you know that you're not alone. And this is a safe place to put anything in a comment below if you feel like it. If you don't, that's fine. But I'm wanting mainly to address it and not brush it under the rug. Years and years ago, I had a friend I went to church with who was in the hospital for depression. So she was in a psychiatric unit. And someone at the time said, when I asked what was wrong with her, I said, what happened? Why is she in the hospital? And they had said, oh, she just has a little depression. Like, oh, it'll go away tomorrow. And my first thought was, it's not just a little bit of depression. There are things that cause it. It's not like, oh, I've got a sinus infection, it'll clear up tomorrow, or let me go get a shot for it. Depression doesn't clear up just like that. It takes a lot of work. It takes talk therapy. It takes medication. There are different things, different interventions to use to help with it, to help manage it. So I am managing it with medication and talk therapy. So I said I was going to get real. So I'm real. And that's a hard thing to talk about because, today's a really good day mentally. So it's easy to talk about it today. Generally, I don't let on. I don't talk to people about it because there's a stigma attached to it. It's like, oh, I don't want to talk to her, or I don't want to talk to him because they're depressed. And, I'm not going to be moping around and, burning your ears with woe is me. I don't want to be seen as that, but it does happen. You do have those feelings, and it's a real thing. It's not like something it's hard to pretend your way through it. It really is hard. I can do that, but it's really hard to pretend your way through it. And it's really hard to pretend my way through my eyes burning right now. So they are just burning like fire. And that is as a result of the trauma, the head injury and the brain injury. So I have medication I use for my eyes and vision therapy. But they are terrible right now. So, and I think since I had the accident and fell and sustained all the injuries, the depression comes on now, I feel like, as a result of all the things I've gone through, because I'm still dealing with workers' comp, and it's still ongoing. It's a long story, but I feel like that plays a big part in it. And, I have not interventions, but I have things I'm doing I see doctors and different things for, vision therapy, vision issues, different things, talk therapy to help me through. I have a couple of a great neurologist and a great vision specialist. So I feel like now that things are getting addressed with regard to the injuries and the issues that I have from the fall and the brain injury, I feel like the depression, now that I'm getting more favorable responses, I feel like the depression is so much better now, but I still have these bad days. It'll hit with a holiday and, it hits. So you got to get through it. But I just wanted to come on here and address that because I know there are others going through these things. There's a lot of stuff in the world that we're working against, or it's working against us. And, these days and times with the price of everything financially, there are people that are having a difficult time, and that can lead to depression. I know for me that plays into it because I was wrongfully terminated from my job after the injuries, and that it's been hard to hold a full-time job because of the injuries and the issues I still have. So I know that does come into play financially. And it's not a great time financially right now for me, but I know it's not for a lot of people. So the things that we're going through, there are outside influences or external influences that contribute to the depression and anxiety. So it's not like there's a quick fix. It is something that needs to be worked on and addressed. You definitely need to address it. So I guess I want to encourage you to maybe find some support, talk to somebody, initiate conversations with a doctor, or, start the process of finding someone to talk to or getting referrals from your PCP. So at the risk of exposing myself to everybody, which I just did, I just want you to know that you're not alone. It is hard. It's very difficult. But it can be done. And I just want to let you know you're not alone. So please like, share, and subscribe, and leave me a comment. Let me know what things are like and what you're going through, or how you've worked your way through it. How did you go from down in the valley of depression to where you're at now, if you've made it out of that valley? These are real things that people don't want to talk about, me included, but I'm talking about it. So I just wanted to jump on here and just say this. So everybody take care and try to make it through. We've got one more holiday, January 1st, New Year's Day. I stay home. I don't do anything. And I'm safe at home watching a good movie bundled up with my pets. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great start to the new year and that you survived Christmas. So I will see you on the next video.